What's up, people? Welcome back. It is Geeked Out Live. Thanks for joining in. I'm your host, Mick Manhattan from the Scene Snobs. Appreciate you. This is the show where you get to pick what we're talking about. That's right. You pick the topics. Pick them in the comments. That is right. I'm excited. So you pick those topics in the comments. We will be talking about them for sure. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. So this is our nice little round table, if you will, so to speak. You pick the topic in the comments. Love to hear what you guys got to talk about. Get into it. Lots of geek stuff happening, that's for sure. So, what's your favorite geek thing that happened this week? Movies, TV, tabletop, video games, any of it. Let's get into it. Almost done with Fallout. Just finished that up. Finished up Three Body Problem earlier this week. Not bad. Three Body Problem. Fallout I really liked. Well, I liked them both. I liked them both a lot. But I would say Fallout is probably my top in that out of those two. Yeah, Fallout is I'm really enjoying it. I got about a half hour left in the newest episode. I'm stoked. Want to see what happens. Bean Fuels. What's going on, Bean Fuels? Thank you for joining in. How you doing? What topics you got for me? Let's get into it. So, what's your favorite film? My favorite film. And are you from the UK, Bean Fuels? I see that you in there. I respect it. If so. Hey, all right. Welcome from the UK. What's up, Bean Fuels? I'm Mick Manhattan from the Scene Snobs. Thanks for joining in. So my favorite film of all time is Back to the Future. Listen, I love that movie. The action adventure keeps me going every time. The comedy is great. Everything about it. I love that film. It is pure nostalgia. And I just every time I see it, I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, it is. It's my absolute, like, you can see I have Save the Clock Tower. This is a couple of things I threw up framed. Actually, funny story, and I just found this out recently. This blue one is the Save the Clock Tower poster on one side, and on the back, Claudia Wells signs it. She wrote, "I love you, 555-4823." And then she signed the bottom, and I wanted it that way. So she does that regularly at cons. But when I got, and it's funny because we just interviewed her over on the Three Geeks podcast. They asked me to fill in and help be one of the geeks that week. Very very humbly thank you so much. That was amazing of them to do, because they knew how big of a fan I was. So I told her about that. I was like, I remember at the convention, you had the flyers. I asked you if you signed it back, and I gave her the number. She couldn't remember the number. And she remembered me from asking that, because that was the very first time anybody had asked her to do that. And she pulled it out. She told me right where it happened, who it was. And that's exactly where. It was at Chiller Theater way back in the early 2000s. I want to say 2004. I'd have to go back and look and find the picture I have and everything. But yeah, I want to say 2004, maybe 2005. I don't 100% remember. But yeah, she told me that was the first one to get that. And then ever since, she's been doing that for everybody. So that was very rad. But yes, that is my favorite film. What is your favorite film? I want to hear it. Sound off in the comments. Any of you sound off, Tell me your favorite films. Tell me about yourselves too. Don't just give me topics. Let's hear it. What you got going on? I hope everybody's doing really well tonight. I am gonna, if I can, just share with you. You don't have one favorite. Okay, can you give me some of your favorites? Doesn't have to be a couple, please. Yeah. Some of them, however many you want, go for it. I'd love to hear a few of them. I do want to share with you guys. We are doing this May 17th. Hopefully you guys can jump on. Ooh, let me take that banner away real quick so you guys can see it. We're doing another charity script read. It's called Casters for a Cause. Usually we do what's called a fundathon, which is maybe 12, 24 hours, something like that, which will be coming up in the summer. We do it for a charity. all the proceeds go to it. This time for this charity scriptry, we picked Haunters Against Hate, which is the official charity of Carolina Fear Fest. We are the official media partner for them. So we're doing this all sort of combination. CFF is sponsoring this night, and we're going to have a great time and just really, get into it and have a good time. So hopefully you guys can join us. It's always a lot of fun. Love to hear what you guys think. Let's see what you got. All right. Scott, I love Scott Pilgrim. First off, not only are just the visual effects amazing in that movie, the acting's fun, the story's great. Everything flows really well in that movie. I've always enjoyed that movie. But the music might be the best part of that movie. And that's a hard thing to be because like everything is really pretty great about that movie. Another great one. I love it. And Matrix. I mean, it's hard to not have those favorites. I definitely do. I have my top 10. And it's always a different order, but nothing. Back to the Future never moves from spot one. It's just one of those movies I can watch anytime. Anything directed by Edgar Wright, I love. I don't blame you. Edgar Wright is, oh God. Every time he picks a movie, I would love to have seen his Ant-Man as well. I think his Ant-Man would have just been so much fun, for sure. So I would have loved to have seen. And not saying Peyton Reed didn't. All right, I have a love-hate relationship with the Ant-Man series. I don't love it, but there's things I don't hate it, I should say, but there are only some things I love about it. So it's not really one that I flock to. I like the first one the most. So Peyton Reed did a great job with that, but I mean, everything Edgar Wright does, like, it just is fantastic. So I'm right there with you. So how's everybody else doing? Yeah, a few people watching. So if you're watching, throw it out. Let's hear it. What's your favorite movie? Let's talk about that. Bean Fuels and I are checking out, hanging out. He's from the UK. I'm living out in the US. It's all copacetic and fun. That's what the community is all about. If you guys don't want to talk here, head over to our Discord. It's down in the link tree in the descriptions. And a whole bunch of stuff down there. You can go check them out. We're having a good time tonight. It's a chill night. It's a very chill night. I'm excited because I have some guests coming over. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But I want to come on. I want to hang out with you guys because that's so much fun too. I enjoyed the first Ant-Man. I didn't mind the second one, but I didn't even bother watching the third one. It's fair. It's not to argue. Like, that's my level too. I did like the third one, but not. It's weird. I liked. Again, there's things I liked about it that I did. I just think it was the wrong character for it. But not because Ant-Man doesn't work in that. He could have. It just didn't work for that character. I don't know. Like, this is the biggest adventure he's ever been on. It's a very Star Wars-like adventure. I almost would have put Star-Lord in that movie, and I think it would have been so much better. Or somebody from that world. That'd be interesting to think about. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think? Do you think that movie could have been saved if it took place cosmically and then one of the cosmic characters was the lead? Interesting. Let me know what you think. But I'm right there with you, Bean Fuels. I like the first one, and then Descending. My favorite band or singer. Oh, I don't know. I think with like what you said, when music is just too much. See, I'm not a music guy. I'm a movie guy. Like I try to not memorize everything, but I hold a lot of this stuff in my head. Music, I just like what I like. I don't always know the name of it or what band sang it. That's like, my wife is great at that. My a few friends are great at that, but it's not something that sticks with me. But of course I have some favorites. So, but I don't think I have a favorite. Probably one of my favorite hip hop groups, which would be right up there for top. Wu-Tang. I mean, I'm from Jersey, so anything by the Boss or Bon Jovi is fun. Trying to think of something. Yeah, like I don't have anything major, like right now, something I'm listening to a lot that I'm really enjoying is Geek music. They make music for like trailers and stuff like that, and they've made some, and I've just really enjoyed everything they've been making. And I just, I can put their YouTube page on or their Spotify page or something and just listen for a long time. They have some great stuff. Do you have a favorite genre? I'm gonna go. So I'll go movies on this because, like I said, I'm more of a movie guy. But if I have a favorite genre, do I have a favorite genre? I mean, it's gonna be horror. Horror. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to make sure that it's not like I'm not wrong when because immediately my brain started pouring in horror. I'm not just a horror guy, but I do love horror movies. Like there's something like comfortable about them. And it always has been. So like I love the horror, hanging out horror heads and stuff like that. But yeah, for me though, the horror is just like yeah, that's got to be the genre. But I mean, there's a lot I really enjoy. Like so, like there's others action adventure. Of course, go to sci-fi. I mean, how do you not? That might be a second. Comedies, of course, but yeah, I got to stick with horror. Horror's my number one. I love it out of the most, and I think we get arguably independent film wise. I think we now hear me out. There's a lot of indie films, especially by maybe up and coming filmmakers. I don't like to say aspiring. I heard uh Joe Bob Briggs on one of his shows talk about don't use the word aspiring, and I just and he nailed it in that speech. Like ever since then, I just don't use the word aspiring. So like up and coming or just starting out, um, they're not great. And then listen, this is from a guy who like knows that about his own films. But I've gotten better each time. So like, I can always, yeah, and that's what I mean. Like you go back to those original, they're not great, but there's a lot of like those second, third films of those filmmakers are coming out now, and they're so much better. And they're so much better than a lot of like the mainstream stuff that's coming out. We get a couple of good ones here and there, but like not all of it is really good. And just since 2020, the indie horror scene has been killing it. And I've been loving that. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with horror. Geek music is great. I love them. Yeah, they're just truly fantastic. So anybody who's joined in, please feel free to jump in the comments. I'm hanging out with Bean Fuels, and we're talking. And he's throwing out some very cool stuff. So keep it up, guys. I'm gonna hang out for a little bit until my company is almost here. Let me see. So that's what this show's all about. This show is um just chilling. It really is. It's just relaxing and hanging out and talking, geeked out style. So that's how this started. So, but guys, you got to give me the comments. You got to give me the topics in the comments. See what we got up here. Let's look for it real quick. All right. See if I can find a good one. Do you play many games? I do not play a lot of video games. I'm not against them. I don't dislike them. I have an obsession with video games. When I get started, so I have a personality where once I start something, I can't stop. I have to finish it. Like if it's a project for me or something like I'm working on, I have to finish it. So if I start a video game, it's dangerous because like I have to finish it. Now, I know when to go to sleep and stuff like that, but a lot gets pushed out of the way. And because I'm so busy with like this, I just like I cannot focus on video games. So I often tend to pick games that are easy to walk away from. Some stuff on my phone, like I'm always got a game on my phone. Helps with anxiety for sure. But when I'm, playing on a console or something, I'll play Madden. It has a clear ending at the end. Stuff like that. Maybe fighting games. I used to love Tekken. I love Tekken. That might have been my favorite. I mean, I love Mortal Kombat as well. But they got so outrageous. Well, look who was talking. But Tekken 4 was my favorite. But um, arcade style, for sure. Yeah. So I mean, I don't play too often, but when I play, I go and I'm like ready to go. And like that's why I have to stay away from like those big adventure games and stuff. I want to play like The Last of Us. I want to play Uncharted. I want to play Fallout. I'm getting all into the movie and reading up on the story and stuff, and I'm loving it. It's a fantastic time, but I can't get into those video games. I really can't. And with all amazing respect to them. So it's not that I'm against them at all. It's just I can't. I cannot. I know myself. I will just be fixated. So I tend to stay away. Sometimes, like maybe if I take a week off, I'll start a game, and then when I get to the point where I'm like, all right, I can walk away from this, I will. I just finished the show. Which show? Oh, Fallout. Oh, I'm sorry. Fallout games are awesome. They look like it, and they always did. It's like I remember when it came out for PC, and like I didn't play them, but I had friends who played those games. And yeah, they always looked like they were a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm like a half hour away from finishing the show. Literally 28 minutes into episode 8. So it's been tied up really well so far. And the fact that this is a part of it, like everything plays down the line, and I'm learning so much about it. But you can, so anybody who hasn't watched Fallout, yeah, there's a lot of games, there's a lot of history here. But you can watch the show. Like I don't know anything about it. I'm falling down the rabbit hole a bit, but I don't know anything about it. And that's fantastic. I think this is great. 2 shows have come out recently that are tied to bigger franchises, which Fallout, and of course, video games, but also Monarch: Legacy of Monsters was fantastic for the MonsterVerse, Legendary Pictures MonsterVerse Godzilla films. I'm loving. That's supporting your franchise perfectly. And that's when I think Marvel started falling apart. Marvel was doing that. And then they started, when they got into TV shows and they started like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they didn't really connect it. And they weren't, they were trying, but they weren't really connecting it. And like, it just kind of became convoluted. That bugged me because like that was the stuff that you're taking away from. Then Daredevil isn't a part of it. And then Jessica Jones not a part of it. And so I was like, can we get something? Can something happen here that we can enjoy? And that like goes and coincides with it. And granted, they've gotten to it now. They were waiting for their Disney Plus, but they finally got to it. But it's just been lackluster, and they've been sort of falling apart. They don't have that support system that really works. They've just been pumping stuff out. And I know I'm not repeating anything new. Everybody who does this talks about this, and that's what this show exists. So I can talk about things like that and other geek stuff that I don't normally get a chance to talk about. But yeah, Fallout, Last of Us, Monarch: Legacy of Monster TV that is adapted from something is becoming amazing. And I love it. And the franchises are getting stronger. And it's not even the franchises you expect to get stronger. I am anxious to see what James Gunn does with DC. I really am. But we'll see. I love James Gunn, but I think sometimes he can get a little too into the weeds with the weird. And listen, our whole thing is absurdity here. I love it. But I also understand that it's a business and this is DC. At least he's starting off with Superman. We'll see how that goes. I have hope though. I think it's gonna be a good Superman movie, personally. Like just the casting looks good. Rachel Brosnan is what was her name? Lois Lane. When I was watching that show, she was on Miss Maisel. I was like, this is Lois Lane. That's who she is. It's basically Lois Lane in the 50s TV show. So it worked. And I was excited for it. But yeah, so we'll see how James Gunn does. I'm excited. What you got for me? Let's hear some of those wonderful topics. Let's get into it. Bean Fuels, if you're still watching, what did you think of the show? Let me know. Do you have any controversial film views? Probably too many. Yes. Yes, I do. But they're not so controversial because I'm a very like so when I review movies, I used to be a filmmaker, so I understand the filmmaking process. I understand everything that goes into it. So I have a lot of respect for movies across the board. And now there's stuff I don't like that I will point out the things that I don't like. I'm pretty straight up. Like I can be tough on my ratings, but I do make sure that even if I hate the movie, I find something I like about it. Because I just think that's important. I think you got to have a positive. If the negatives outweigh the positives in a movie, you've got to add at least one positive. So like if you have 3 positives but 8 negatives, add 1. Get 4. Give it a 50% chance. Do that with everything in life, and you'll be fine. If you have a lot of positives, keep an eye on the negatives. See what happens. All right. I realize it doesn't make a ton of sense, but it does work for me, so I'm okay with it. But controversial. Okay. There are some movies that I realize are beloved. People absolutely adore them. And you're going to get really mad at this because you're from the UK. And I'm so sorry. But hear me out. Let me finish my argument before we get there. So, like Fight Club. Never liked Fight Club. But I understand why people do. And I respect what it does in the movie industry and what it did in 1999 at that time. The Matrix. Never been a huge fan of the Matrix, but I respect what it did for visual effects. I respect what it did for Keanu Reeves' career. I respect what it did for just completely changing the game. Again, 1999. I actually think I'm going to do a little Snobs film history on 1999 too, because that was a year that changed a lot. But going back to like more controversial. Probably my most controversial, which I am very outspoken about, and the one that really may upset you, not the Matrix one. Because again, I may not personally flock to them, but those movies, I understand why people respect them. Here's the controversial part. I hate The Sound of Music. I think it is one of the worst stories wrapped around nice music and pretty imagery. It is a tale that goes on for almost 3 hours. And the last 10 minutes is when it gets really anything happens. And it drives me up a wall. And I understand people hate me for it. My wife goes crazy over it. Everyone. That was my grandmother's favorite movie. I'm pretty sure everyone I know loves that movie. I cannot stand it. I love Julie Andrews. I love Christopher Plummer. I forget who else in the movie. I'm sure they're great too. I don't want that story. I want the story of the escape and the harrowing journey that they went through. That's interesting to me. Not the stuff we got. Not that, wow, I fell in love with your nanny. It's awesome. We're getting married. Happy family. Let's sing. All right, time to go. Like it's just, but in 3 hours, come on. Oh, don't get me on a rant to this movie. People do not understand it. I love Mary Poppins. I love musicals. I do. I just cannot get behind The Sound of Music. But I understand that everyone loves it. So I will respect that everyone loves it, and I only try to I only try to rant about it on my stuff. So, and I don't try to rant about it often, but people ask, and okay. Well, don't tell anybody in your family I said that because they may have, especially the older they get. They probably definitely have, and they will get mad at my controversial statement because everybody gets mad at me for that movie. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens in the movie. Everything works out From the moment it starts until the end, every single thing works out. Not one real bit of turmoil happens until the evil Third Reich shows up, because I don't think I'm supposed to say that on a couple of things. But which makes it whatever. I can't start two rants at once. But I will tell you, nothing happens. Nothing, you never feel like they're in danger. You never feel like anybody's in turmoil. You never feel like there's anything more than just the decision of getting what you want. Even, even, even the girlfriend was nice enough to be like, I can see you two love each other. I'll step out of the way. What? What? Not a fight for, and that was only like an hour in. This movie is so bad. It drives me nuts that people love this movie so much. Nothing happens. I can't, but it's beloved. It's beloved. I don't know if I took the crazy pill and I fall on the other side of it, because there's not many other, like, I don't hate a lot of movies. I really don't. I hate that movie. I hate that movie. Oh, and Titanic. I can't stand that movie. It's just another one that's like 3 hours and nothing freaking happening until something happens. And it's really still focused on this love story that's just like, come on, why are we in the boat? We should be on the outside of the boat. And then when we get to the outside of the boat, it's great. But that's like 2 hours in. I don't know. I'm just not a fan. So that's my rant for today's episode. Bring you guys out, and it's just I'm going to bitch and moan about this. Yeah, I cannot stand The Sound of Music. I can't do it. It's so bad. I don't understand why people love that movie. I'm hoping that we're moving down generations to the point where they realize how stupid that movie is. Watch A Great Escape. Watch A Great Escape. That's a great movie. Something's happening every minute. It's a harrowing journey the entire time. And it has the same bad guys. So there you go. That's something. You know, you're into that World War II epic. But yeah. God, stupid movie. Sorry. That is my controversial opinion, I guess. All right, what do you have? Do you like any films which everyone else hates? Yeah, yeah, I do. I don't even know what it's up to. Let's see what my letterbox says. I don't think I got everything, because I'm kind of trying to go through and get everything, but my letterbox actually I'm up to 7,454 films that I've watched. I'm trying to figure this site out. Somebody got me into it like 5 years ago, and then I just started doing it like this year. So I'm just trying to mark everything I've watched, and I'm going to go back and write reviews. Anyway, I digress. So there any films that I actually like that? Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of what people don't like. Well, like, what's mass disliked, considered a really bad movie. Like, a lot of people for a long time said Plan 9 from Outer Space. I love that movie because it's so bonkers and stupid. Like, again, that's the thing about story, and that's the thing that, like, when I talk about story, why I enjoy it. Like, people are like, how do you hate The Sound of Music, but you like Plan 9 from Outer Space? Because Plan 9 from Outer Space, for as convoluted and stupid as that story is, there's something happening. And yes, sometimes it doesn't make sense. It's just shoehorned in because that's who Ed Wood was in his stories. And I'm not saying I respect that style of filmmaking, but the dude went out and he made a movie on his own with his money, had to go out and get it done. And I respect that. That's indie filmmaking. He was guerrilla and he went for it. And to get into the industry and to get his film seen, he utilized everything he had, which I respect. Again, I don't know how anybody doesn't respect this movie, but why do I like that movie besides the respect? Just from a movie aspect, something happens almost in every frame. It, again, makes no sense. He's shoehorned a lot of shit in there, but he made a movie that something's happening and it's interesting throughout, even if it's poorly done. The Sound of Music is a beautiful, 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 beautiful film. Shot beautifully, directed beautifully, acted beautifully, sung beautifully, but it's a hollow artwork. It's not like the story is just, it's not even any, like, you got, to me, that's, if that's how their life actually was to the T, and I'm talking about from the moment it starts, if that's how everyone in that family's life was, and that's exactly how everything went down, you have one of the best lives I've ever seen. Like, because like there was almost no like struggle. There was some fear. There was no struggle. And if there's no conflict or struggle in a movie, I don't care. I don't care. I'm sorry. And then once the conflict gets there, if you're trying to pass it off to me, and then we get there and okay, the conflict's there, I'm paying attention, but it's 10 minutes left and I just watched a 3-hour movie. No. I mean, that movie would have fine. She leaves the convent. She goes to be a nanny. They sign her to be a nanny. Fine. Maybe they find out that she's falling in love. The stepmom goes back to the convent, says, "This is what's happening." So they're trying to pull her back, but that's now a love story where they're trying to be together. And just sometimes you got to Hollywood it up. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes you just got to Hollywood it up. But do I like any films that everyone else hates? Let me look that up. You know what? I'm gonna do that. All right. I'm gonna look for a list of universally hated movies. I'm gonna see if I like it. And then we'll go from there. All right. What do we got here? The perception of the movies. Geely, Batman and Robin. I asked ChatGPT, by the way. Sometimes I go do my little interviews for them. The Room, Tommy Wiseau. I didn't listen. I don't like The Room, but again, for the same thing, for the same reasons that I liked, or not the same reasons, because there are things I liked about Plan 9, but for the same reasons I gave about Ed Wood making Plan 9, that's why I respect The Room. It's bonkers, it's stupid, but he made his movie. Catwoman, The Last Airbender. It's not looking good. I like Jaws of Revenge. It was a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie. But again, you get people eating all throughout. So, and there's some shoehorn, and I'm not saying I like all that. You like, I don't respect bad scripts. I don't respect bad stories, but I at least respect them if they're stories. There's something happening on screen. You can enjoy that. We like schlock for a reason. I hate Batman and Robin. I fucking hate Batman. I hate those goddamn nipples on those two 37-year-old men, one of whom adopted the other. How the hell's that? Oh my God, I hate that movie so much. I hate that movie so much. And then Batgirl just shows up. Oh my God, and that's only a little bit about what I hate that movie. Beanfields, you're seeing me in a real I'm usually very chipper. I'm talking about the movies I hate, so I don't know what to go with. You guys pick the topics in the comments. Go for it. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's see what's what. I am excited for sure. Yeah. Cheap self plug again for anybody new who's listening. We are doing a reading, Casters for a Cause charity read. It's charity scripts read. A Scream. That's right. It's sponsored by our good pals over at Carolina Fear Fest. I will be there Memorial Day weekend. And yeah, I'm excited. And we are collecting all proceeds for Haunters Against Hate. And we are excited to do so. That's a great organization. Let's go check that out. Help us out. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. So, how's everybody doing tonight? You know, doing good? Hanging in there? I'm excited. I am excited. Let's see what you guys got going on. Sure. All right. I am going to probably hop off soon, but if you guys got anything for me before I take off, let me know. I do this every Sunday, you know, maybe a half hour or something, depending on how everything's going. I love Bean Fuels tonight, man. Thank you so much for joining in. That was so much fun. Had a really good time. But guys, go check it out. And new episode of the Scene Snobs podcast again every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, right on the Scene Snobs channel on YouTube. We also broadcast Twitch. broadcast our Facebook page. You can come join us. We just started our Trailers and Theory show over on our Patreon. That's Wednesday nights. You can also check it out. Discord gets a special link until it's locked up. So if you want to go check it out there, you can go join up on our Discord. We'd love to have you. Appreciate you guys so much for being a part of it and hanging out and just generally jumping in and being awesome. You guys are great. But until next time, check out the Scene Sounds podcast. Like I said, we got a lot of stuff going on. And until then, I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Take care.